we often sing more lies than we'll ever tell. And man, that hit me because that's so true. Like, I've been in places where I've just sat there and I've sang the words on the screen, but they meant nothing.
Welcome back to TBC 10 Minute Tuesday. My name is BJ Parson, missions and student pastor here at Thelma Baptist Church. This is a podcast of Thelma Baptist Church. Our goal is to engage, to inform, and to inspire. And I am honored and privileged this morning to have with me our worship pastor here at Thelma Baptist Church, Pastor Will Thornton. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
So are you excited to be back in the office?
I am. I had a good trip with Amy this past week, and I appreciate our team and the leadership they showed to our church while we were gone. But I'm glad to be back in Wetumpka. Texas was great.
Everything's bigger in Texas, right?
That's right. That's right.
And the other thing is, like, when you get over there, you find out that they have about 1 billion places to eat, and everything you order is going to be enormous. Right?
And delicious.
And delicious. So did you practice any restraint at all when you were over there this week?
Yeah, at the free hotel breakfast, I tried to restrain myself so I could eat the rest of the day.
Just to kind of let everybody know who you are, for those who are maybe new to us, Will, tell us a little bit about the family.
Yeah. So I'm married to my beautiful wife, Amy, for 10 years coming up this year. So I think we're going to stick it out.
That's good. That's a good thing to know.
And we've got 3 awesome kids. It is wild all the time, but 2 boys, Liam and Jude, 5 and almost 7. And then the sweetest baby on the planet, little Annie, she's 2, and she runs the house.
She runs the house?
That's right. Yeah, and the boys know.
There you go. And we've got that. But yours is like flip-flopped. So my daughter is the oldest of our crew.
Yep.
And yours is the youngest. And but it doesn't matter. When you have the one daughter in amongst the boys, they're going to be a princess, and they're going to run the show.
That's right. That's it.
And you do. You have an awesome family. Really enjoy having you guys here, and everything that Amy adds to your ministry and allowing you to minister, right? So let me ask you this, and I love kind of asking this question of different staff members. If, in a sentence, and we'll start with a sentence, and then you can kind of flesh it out. What is your bottom line goal for the praise and worship ministry here at Thelma Baptist Church?
Can I give you 2 sentences?
Sure.
All right. I would say it's twofold, and we can unpack it in just a minute, like you said. But the first thing I would say is, as a team, we want to create, and this is from the stage to production team, create a distraction-free environment where people can experience the presence of God through worship. And then the second part is, I want to help disciple this idea of discipleship through worship, through music, through singing. How do we disciple even in that way? Because that's one of our big 3.
Right.
So even discipleship through worship.
Right. And the big 3, love God, love people, make disciples. And
That's
so
it.
in all areas of the church and all ministries of the church, we're trying at any given moment to accomplish through ministry one of those 3, right?
That's right.
And so that's amazing. What's your favorite part of praise and worship?
Oh, goodness. At our church?
Yeah. I mean, at the church or in general, like for yourself.
Man, I when I was a kid, someone was on the stage, and they created this atmosphere, this environment where I walked in and my walls came down, and I got to experience God's presence for the first time, and it changed my life. And so I lead our team this way. I love the fact that we have that same opportunity. We talked about that last night at our rehearsal, just the fact that we are carriers of God's presence, and we get to be priests and set up meeting places for people to experience God's presence. So I think that's my favorite part is seeing the light bulb come on when somebody's in God's presence, and maybe they need a breakthrough, or maybe they're going through something, or maybe they're excited in God's presence, and they engage, because that's the goal, engagement. Right. And so someone did that for me, and so I think being able to do that for the people at our church is my favorite part.
And music breaks people down. it breaks down walls, all types of music, regardless of when it is. Do you ever have that one song that shoots you back to being in the high school Will?
Oh, yeah. If you throw anything from late 90s, We Fall Down, Lord, I Lift Your Name on High, Here I Am to Worship, I'm sobbing immediately. Like, there's no doubt there will be tears.
Right.
That's what I grew up with.
Because it's you know what mine was, and it was it came out in A Week Away is the movie.
You told me about this.
The movie's called A Week Away, and they've got a song in there, and it's Awesome God. And dude, I'm watching that movie and I'm bawling like a baby. And it was like, and I was trying to remember, like, was there a moment when that song particular, like, rocked me, or what was it? And it was just everything about that. It sent me back to almost like the foundations of me being built in ministry and my calling. Like when I was a teenager, when I received and actually recognized and accepted that calling. And so,
it's amazing. Yeah, that's right.
As a worship leader, and we say that, I mean, you're pastoring others, you're discipling them, you're growing them, you're challenging them, but at the same time, you're leading a congregation, and you have that ultimate goal of creating that experience for them on a Sunday morning. What's the hardest thing about leading others to sing?
That's a great question. And I think the hardest thing about leading others to sing is actually leading them to not just sing. And
okay.
What I mean by that is, and we our church sings. If you've not been to our church, my goodness, they sing. And I remember the first time the first time I was here, and and I sat through a service and I was just bawling because I'd never heard the church sing like that. But to your question, as our part of our job as worship leaders is leading the flock that God's given us to not just sing. Because think about it, you've got families that are coming in on two wheels, kids in tow on Sunday morning. A lot of them, by the time they get in the room, they're desensitized. They're not. They're disengaged. They're there. They came in on the last song sometimes, and and they're just kind of they open their mouth and they start singing. And I heard it said once, we often sing more lies than we'll ever tell. And I mean, that hit me because that's so true. Like, I've been in places where I've just sat there and I've sang the words on the screen, but they meant nothing. And so the goal, I think, for worship leaders, people who are leading worship in any capacity, whether that's on a stage, on a platform, and by the way, you're leading worship if you're serving in any type of ministry, the goal is engagement. How do we intentionally help these people that God's bringing us engage in what He's doing in the room, and then get out of the way? Yeah. So,
man, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. Is there anything coming up that you're excited about?
Okay, I got a shameless plug. It has nothing to do with worship. Maybe so. I'm pumped for VBS. I am so pumped for VBS.
I think everybody is.
That was my favorite week of the year last year. Michelle does an awesome job, and we're gonna have a live band again this year.
Awesome.
And I'm pumped for that.
Do you have cowboy boots or cowboy hat?
Pastor Leroy does, and I'm gonna let him handle that.
You're gonna let him.
I'm in with a washboard though. So
a washboard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go to the next question and kind of wrap up. How can somebody get involved? Because you're working in the music, the technology, the live stream, all that's part of your team. If somebody wants to get involved or they feel led to that ministry, how can they get involved there?
Sure. Right now, there's a couple ways, and one of those is through Starting Point Discover. So that's kind of our onboarding process right now. Someone goes through Discover, but that's typically for new people to our church. But if you're within our church now, the quickest and easiest way is just to come and sit right now. It's to come and find me and tell me. And we're working on creating an onboarding process for the team, and that's coming in the next couple months. That'll be an easy pathway for people to join the team and kind of hear what we're about. But find me, find Leroy, find a staff member. Come and tell me. I don't know if you play or you sing, but if you do, I want to know.
And we do have some really amazing, talented individuals, and we are blessed in that area. And you're right, the church does sing, and so it makes a difference when you're leading and people follow.
Yeah.
And so,
right.
Listen, I just want to say, first off, man, we're excited that you and your family are here, and it's an honor to work with you. And I'm excited to see where God is leading us in the future. And so thank you for taking a minute to sit down with us today and just kind of share who Will is. And thanks again. And that will wrap us up. We want to invite you to join us on Sunday for service at 8:30 and 10 a.m. We hope you have a great week. And join us again next time for TBC 10 Minute Tuesday.